Hola, and welcome to another Spanish lesson. In this lesson, we're going to learn all about describing persons, especially our family members. Now, the structure that is used to describe someone, there are two questions that I'm going to be putting up. We have ¿Cómo es? And I'm going to leave that end empty for a little bit, and we have ¿Cómo son? Now, ¿Cómo es is asking for one person. ¿Cómo son is asking for more than one. Now, as it pertains to our lesson, what is going to be inserted at the end is going to be whoever you want to know the description of. And so if we ask the question, for example, ¿Cómo es su mamá? It could be any family member for that matter. We're actually asking, what is your mother like? And we're asking for a description of her. Description. Whenever you see this question, ¿Cómo es? In any format that you see it. So if you see it referring to a person, if you see it referring to a thing, if you see it referring to anything at all, it is asking for, I'm going to put it in big, bold, red letters, ¿Cómo es is asking for a description. And if it's a person that you're being asked to describe, the description can be physical and it can be character. Now down here for the ¿Cómo son, where you're asking for more than one person or thing, we're going to use persons in this case. Let us say that you have sisters. So the question could be ¿Cómo son sus hermanas? And this is asking, what are your sisters like? Again, it is asking you to describe, and ¿Cómo son, which is simply the counterpart, the plural counterpart for ¿Cómo es, speaks to the same thing. It's asking for a description, and the description can be physical or as it pertains to character. Now, how do you answer this question? So if you're asked, ¿Cómo es su mamá? The answer is always embedded somewhere in the question as it pertains to the format of your answer. So if you're asked, ¿Cómo es su mamá? You respond with, the counterpart to su is me, mama, and your verb is already there, es, and you're going to insert your description. Now, one thing that you need to know about your descriptions here, adjectives must agree with the noun that they are describing. What do I mean by that? In Spanish, your nouns are either masculine or feminine, and they can be singular and plural. So in Spanish, we have two types of adjectives. We have adjectives that have 4 forms, and we have adjectives that have 2 forms. That is another lesson altogether. But your adjective must agree with the noun that it is describing. Now, mi mamá is singular and feminine. Singular, feminine. It therefore means that any adjective that you're going to use to describe mi mamá must also be singular and feminine. Suppose I wanted to say my mother is short. The word for short is bajo. Now, bajo, as it is singular but masculine. Bajo is one of our 4 form adjectives. And so what will happen is that we will change bajo to match with mama. So it becomes baja. So mi mamá es baja, because we want to ensure that our adjective matches back with our noun. Suppose and this is a physical description. Suppose I wanted to say something about her in terms of her personality. The concept would be the same. Whatever adjective I am using to describe the person, once I know if the person is singular, masculine, singular, feminine, plural, masculine, plural, feminine, the adjective will match that person accordingly. So if I wanted to say that mi mamá es, let's say she's patient. Now the word for patient is paciente. Paciente is one of our, what we call our two-form adjectives. So all that it will have is a singular or a plural. It will not necessarily carry a gender. It won't be male or female. I'm going to use these same adjectives to answer the second question that we have here, which is the plural form of asking for a description. And so to answer that question, I'm going to pick up a different color altogether so we can see the distinction. What are your sisters like? Now, in the question, it says sus hermanas. Sus hermanas. In your response, the sus is going to become mis. And hermanas remains hermanas. Now, I want to say my sisters are short. In our question, the verb that we used was son. Let's put a circle around that so you can see it clearly. Son. It therefore means in the response, we're going to use son. Now we have our adjective up here, baja. Now baja is now singular and feminine, but down here, our noun is hermanas, which is plural and feminine. So we're going to make baja plural and feminine to match our noun that is plural and feminine. And so this becomes bajas. Now, if this were, for example, your brothers, mis hermanos, it would be mis hermanos son bajos, for the bajos rather, to match the hermanos. Let's do the second response. Mi mamá es paciente. We're going to convert that to mis hermanas. So the response for this is going to become mis hermanas son. Now, because paciente is either singular or plural, in this case, because hermanas is plural, pacientes is also going to be plural. There's one other thing that I want to talk about when it comes on to description, and that is describing yourself. Now, if someone wants to know what you are like, this is the question that you would be asked. ¿Cómo es usted? What are you like? Now, there is no me or su or tu that you're going to be able to use because it's just not in the question. What you want to look at instead is your verb. And here is your verb, es. Now, this is coming from the verb ser. Como es, and this is your pronoun, usted. So this is asking, what are you like? Your response is going to be, I am. The I am component for ser, coming from ser rather, is soy. So you would simply say soy, and you would insert whatever adjective you want to use to describe yourself. The only thing you need to pay attention to is your gender. So, for example, if you wanted to say soy, I'm tall, which I'm not really tall. Let's say short. I'm short. If you wanted to say I am short and I am a female, I would say for myself soy ba ha because I'm female. However, if you were a gentleman and you wanted to say I am short, you would say soy ba ho because you're a gentleman. If, let us say that you wanted to say you are a patient, talking about yourself, I would say soy paciente. Again, because this has only two forms, singular or plural, I don't need to pay attention to whether it has an A or an O. So this goes for both male and female. It's just singular. One other thing. Suppose, just suppose, you are standing with a group of friends or not even standing with a group of friends, but you're with a group and someone comes along and they want to know what you all are like. Let us say that you're all basketball players. So you're all tall. The question that you could be asked is como son, and for emphasis, because that son can refer to quite a number of persons, como son ustedes? And this question is asking, what are you all like? And to answer this is very tricky because you have to process the question. If someone comes up to a group of you and they want to know what you're like in terms of your description, and they say, what are you all like? You would not respond by saying you would respond by saying we. And so we jump over to the we form of the verb ser, which is somos. Let us say that you're all tall and you are all female. It would be somos altas. And I'm going to put a little notation in brackets here so you don't forget. All female. Let us say that you were all male. It would be somos altos. And this would be all male. It could be two things actually. It could be all male or male and female combined. And I don't want you to believe that the adjectives that have to do with physical description are all four form. So let's use up another two form adjective that has to do with physical description. Suppose you wanted to say that we are strong. It would be somos fuertes. We are strong. And I don't want you to believe that all the adjectives that have two forms have to do with personality and character. Suppose we wanted to say, we are let me find a nice one. We are animated or lively, and we're all females. It would be, we are somos animadas. And again, the animadas there would be for all female. If this were all males or a combination of males and females, it would be somos animados. This would be for a combination, well, this would be for all male or male and female combined. So let's review quickly. The question that you are going to be asked if a description is needed is going to be como es or como son. One is singular, the other is plural. The other thing to pay attention to is the adjective that you are using must agree with the noun that you are describing in both number and gender where applicable. You have two types of adjectives, those with 4 forms and those with 2 forms. Your 4-form adjectives are going to have singular masculine, singular feminine, plural masculine, plural feminine to match the nouns that they're describing. Your 2-form adjectives will be only singular or plural. The gender is irrelevant to describe the noun or to go with or to agree with the noun that they're describing. In a nutshell, como es, como son. Adios.